Hello, my name is Steve Dubin. I am the host of Business Way Outside the Box, which is the podcast of PR Works. We focus primarily on businesses that are unusual in a variety of ways, in the ways they deliver service, in the products they produce, and the people that run them, things that make them different and better from their competition. And today's guest is someone who solved a problem that some people didn't realize they had, solves a problem for people who thought that there was no solution, and that is putting solar panels on a slate or hard roof. And today's guest is Dave Tomolillo. I practiced so hard at saying that name, it threw me off. I had a mental break right there. Dave, welcome to our podcast, and tell us how you came up with this unique idea to help people who had expensive, classic, hard roofs, but wanted to add solar panels and take advantage of the power of the sun.
Right. Well, I've been in the trades for quite a while. I've been swinging a hammer since high school. So I've really been in business better part of 40 years. Over the last 10 years, I've been doing roofing and structural work for other solar companies. And a man that I know who has his own solar company came up to me and said, "Hey, T, listen, there's a lot of slate out there, and the current product, I have homeowners that don't want to use it. Can you come up with something?" I hadn't even thought of it. 4 years ago, I started playing around. 2 years ago, got my patent, and the rest is history.
Okay, and so tell us, what is the initial challenge of a slate roof? Why does it need a unique solution?
So there was two things that I had in mind, or where I saw, a problem. First, respecting the slate roof. The current products require you to remove several slate, put in a mount, cut the slate back. And the way the engineering is, you have to do a mount every 4 feet. And there's 2 rails per panel. So now you're doing every 4 feet for 2 rows. You're literally removing half the roof. So that was the one challenge. The other one was, how do you keep from crushing the slate? Because all the other ones are removing it. And so I came up with a spacing system. It technically floats on the slate. The way the spaces work, it'll keep it from crushing the slate. So not only do we not have to remove a slate, it's not even crushing, it's not even a concern. My current competition takes about good contract. I could probably do a mount, maybe 15 minutes. Mine's 3. So we're saving a tremendous amount of time, and we're respecting the roof.
Okay, and speaking of those roofs, those hard roofs, slate and other hard surfaces, what percentage in the U.S. Does that make up?
That's a good question. That seems to be one of the best kept secrets with the Slate Roofers Association. With some of the research that we've done around single family homes, not municipalities, not commercial, but single family homes, you're looking at just under 2% of all single family homes are either slate or some form of stone. Usually that number is accurate east of the Mississippi, but you have big pockets throughout a lot of the other states. You've got Southern Vermont loaded with slate. Those numbers are higher. Delaware, Pennsylvania, a lot of where the quarries were, upstate New York. There's large pockets, but in general, I think 2% is conservative.
Okay, and you're based in Billerica, Mass, but that does not limit you to the Bay State area, correct?
Correct. Yeah. Currently, what I'm offering is training. There's a lot of companies out there that are just, it's The solar arena is really a unique group of men. Or I should say, it's a really unique group. And for years, they wouldn't even touch Slate because, let's face it, quite honestly, they don't understand it. But there's a lot of low-hanging fruit now in that market, and it is a niche market. So I had a company fly me out in California to train them on my method. Um, I'm literally I just got another couple of leads for a company in New York. They want me to personally come down and do the racking and the rails, and then their electricians will come on behind us. I'm flying down to Maryland to train another team because Maryland is loaded with Slate. So myself personally, we've got really Vermont, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire covered. I do have a team in Connecticut, but we really haven't sold any projects. We haven't had a market in Connecticut yet. So we're moving. We're slowly moving.
So there are, my understanding is there are three options. People can buy direct from you the product they need to put solar panels on hard roofs. They can have you come train them so they could do it themselves. And the third would be that consumers could reach out to you potentially to have you vet capable installation crews wherever they are in the United States.
Yeah, that's relatively accurate. I'd say option one, I would say is a customer calls me directly. We can actually do the installation with our own teams. Option two is just selling the product directly to the different solar companies. But I like to, because it's my name on it, I want to make sure that they're doing it correctly. I do have training videos, but then, of course, option three is fly me down for one day. That's all you're going to need me for. I can have your team understand the product, understand how to install it. All the little, my little trade secrets are on doing installations, including installing anchors. So there's a lot of little tricks that they could eventually figure out. You hire me for a day, and that's all you're going to need me for.
And I would guess, and maybe you can confirm this, that most homes with hard roofs like Slate would be for more affluent families that can afford Slate. Therefore, the job is larger. Therefore, the job is more profitable for those who have to install it.
Yeah, well, so anybody who owns a slate roof understands the maintenance part of it for sure. But there's a lot of great benefits to slate. It's really a 200-year roof. Usually at about 100 years or so, 150 years, you have to pay attention to the slate, but there are the black Munsons, the reds. That's a 250-year slate. They just last. So there is an additional expense for slate, but it's not as much as people think. It's really not that much more. There's a mathematical equation that we use to it. It's no sense getting into it right now because every project varies, but it's not that much more than putting it on an asphalt roof. Really, the only thing extra that you're paying for is the time to install the rails on the slate, which is about another day and a half worth of time. So it's very affordable.
Okay, but what I was getting at was I would assume that some of the homes that use Slate are larger homes that might have more surface area for more solar panels than your average home.
I'm not quite sure about that. The single family homes. Now there are some really beautiful Victorians, and you have, like I said, you have your pockets. But some of those real elaborate, larger homes have a lot more dormers, have turrets. Ironically, there's not as much flat solar face to install the panels on. So it varies. I mean, but out in this New England area, just same ranches. It's just that they have slate. No, I'm not quite sure I'd agree with that. It varies. It varies.
Okay. And then what about commercial work? Is this sometimes also used by commercial properties?
They are. We haven't done many, but we now are involved with a couple of church projects, which is nice. I've been trying to get into that arena. We just did a repair on Wellesley Church. There was panels that were already up there, but they wanted some extra work done, so we handled it. Condos, multifamilies. We did a few multifamily homes. You would consider them commercial, I guess. I'm waiting to get into the municipalities and some of those bigger buildings. That's colleges. I can't wait. We're putting a lot of bugs in people's ears, so it's only a matter of time.
And do you find that both commercial entities and homeowners are trending towards use of solar now that there are tax incentives and people are more aware of climate change and so on?
That as along with their increasing electric bills, they're just getting higher and higher. It's that's certainly a motivational piece for a lot of people, because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we're saving you money. So pretty much every homeowner that has called us that's wanted solar on their slate roofs has gone solar. There's a few that we actually declined because they were too small or their payback wasn't really, it didn't really make sense. I have one woman in Brookline who doesn't care. She's like, I just want solar everywhere. She's almost a break-even point at like 15, 16 years. It's not a huge profit, but she's going green and she does understand that the electric bills are constantly rising. So she just doesn't, she just wants it. So we're accommodating her.
But more commonly, the payback period's 5 or 6 years for the average home.
Normal asphalt, 5 to 6 years. Slate, 8, 9 years.
Okay.
But still, at the end of the day, it's a lot of money that you're saving.
And you're also looking at Europe as a marketplace and might be going to some trade shows there. What's the market for slate roofs in Europe?
Now that's exciting. We do have our European approval. Our patents are approved, ready to go. We actually just signed up for the Munich trade show in June. You're looking at close to 50% slate in stone. Actually, let me say that again. Probably 65, 70% stone roofs in Europe. Germany is really mostly all stone. It's their I guess it's their heritage. I had a German man at one of the trade shows talk to me about it, and he gave me a lot of insight on Germany. England's loaded with slate. Ireland. There's still quarries in Spain, Luxembourg, Italy. Yeah, no, it's going to be a lot easier out there. I really want to make it in my own backyard, but Europe is calling us.
Yeah, good for you. All right. Well, I think we've covered the subject. Is there anything else you wanted to add about, your service and the products?
You have any questions? My phone is always on. You can feel free to call. The homeowner, the solar company, the roofer. I welcome all phone calls. I love educating people on the product. For a relatively new company, we're starting to make some headway. And I look forward to talking to anyone who wants to call and get educated.
Thanks, Dave. And why don't you share your phone number and your website so people can reach you either way?
Right. Well, we are SolarSlateSolutions.com, and my cell phone is 781-870-7570. That is the company name and number. SolarSlateSolutions.com, 781-870-7570.
All right, Dave, thank you for being our guest today. I consider it an education from the School of Hard Knocks. Get it?
I got my PhD in hard knocks. Yes, yeah. Yes,
All
I
right.
did. Thank you. Steve,
Thanks for being with us. All right. Bye-bye.